to the chair.
Open the workshop.
Good evening, board, members of the public, and staff. It's my pleasure to introduce Carol Schofield this evening. Our strategic planning process began in, wow, it's really loud. I'm going to move that away from me. Our strategic planning process began in May of this year. We met with the president and vice president, and then we came to the APC in
2002.
So our strategic planning process began in 2002. It was revised in 05-06, and then revised again in 10-11, and then again in 16-18. So we started this process in May. We got to the APC in June. We changed tracks in June to bring our model in alignment with Alameda County. And Alameda County went through this process as a series of workshops. And so we have backed out. We have now reformulated our process, and we have asked Carol Schofield to come and help us through this workshop process. And so with that, I will turn over the workshop to Carol.
Good evening, everyone. How are you? Good. Hey. I know, lots of familiar faces in the room. So the first thing we're going to do is if you got a packet, and I think we had enough to go around, inside the packet, I think on the first page, so you have everything that the board has in your little packet that was on the back table back there if you did not get one. So what is in here are the ground rules, and I was looking at them afterwards and I thought, these are cranky, negative ground rules. And the reason why they're cranky and negative is because I was cranky and negative when I wrote them up. Because they were at the end of 4 hours of sitting at a computer and looking at websites and doing all kinds of things to get ready for this evening. So what I'd like you to do...
Finishing on time is a pleasant carrot.
Well, we are going to finish on time. That one is. So what I'd like you to do, for those of you, it's stapled. Would you go get it out of the packet and just rip it out? Just rip it out of the packet. Okay? All right. All right. Well, you can have this one then. There you go, because I want you to do this, Peter. So I want everyone to take it now, okay? And I want you to make a ball like this. Come on.
Can we throw them at Peter?
No. And throw them over in this corner. I guess it's the safest corner.
I threw it in the pocket.
All right. Just get rid of them. All right. So now what I want to know is...
We're not finishing on time.
No, we're going to finish on time.
Okay.
So what I want you to think about is a good meeting you went to. What made it good for you?
We finished on time.
Finished on time. We got finished on time. All right. What else? Anybody?
Everybody was heard.
All right. All right. People heard. Snacks. Okay.
A clear agenda.
Clear
what
agenda.
It is we're going to accomplish in
Okay.
2 hours.
Okay. All right.
Clear roles between the public and the board.
Okay. Okay. How about some cranky stuff? What meetings did you go to that were awful? Oh.
Reporting out of what happened in the meeting.
Oh, a report out. Okay. Well, that will happen. That's my job. All right. Okay. So how about some bad meetings you went to? What happened in those meetings? I'm sorry? Didn't finish on time. You guys are really vested in this on-time stuff, so we're going to do that.
Disrespectful.
Disrespectful. Good. What else?
Shoe throwing.
I was physically assaulted at a meeting.
Oh, well.
That would be shoe throwing.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, well, we're not having any of that either. I look little, but I'm pretty mighty, those of you who know me.
A long, boring monologue that goes on for an hour and a half with no opportunity for interaction.
Okay, no interaction, monologues, okay.
Too much repetition with people that speak.
Oh, okay. Okay. Anybody else got another Bernie?
Data heavy PowerPoint.
Data heavy, oh, you'll love mine. Okay. Okay.
Trying to create a public perception that's inaccurate.
Okay, can I just put in accuracy? Yeah? Okay. Okay. All right. So, may I see a show of hands, how many are interested in having this kind of meeting tonight? May I see a show of hands from everybody? How many want this kind of meeting? Okay, we're good. So let's start. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is, because I know all of you know, is that we have 3 new board members. And so I have not had an opportunity to share with them my wisdom about what it takes to be a board member. And I only share this because at one point in my journey professionally, I was asked to serve on a board. And this was at a point in my career where I was a manager of a fairly large facility. So I spent all day telling people what to do. And so I got on this board, and I thought that was my job, was to tell people what to do. So I will defer to all this, and I think if you've been around for a while like Nick, you've probably seen this 43 times.
No.
Although I did, only 5, okay. So I typed it up all nice and neat, and it's just a reminder to what is the role of the board and what is the role of staff. So it is just a gentle reminder about that, and no time to be spent on it. It's just something that I wanted them to have. All right, so that one's done. And then the next piece is, and I will give you permission for all of you here as members of the community, if you do like kinds of trainings or go to like kinds of things, you really have my permission to pass this stuff on, because it's really good stuff. It makes a difference. Pardon me? Well, we had like 20 packets back there. I guess we're out of packets. But Michael, I'll get one for you. I'll be glad to send you all my stuff. Okay.
You got $1?
Oh, he's going to sell you one. I wouldn't take $1 though. All right. So this here again is just that piece. So where we are now is at the meat of what we're here to do tonight. And before we actually put the board to work, we're going to look at what is, if you're following along, what is a mission statement, what is a vision statement, and what is a value statement. Okay, so if you just, I'm going to read it for those of you who did not get a copy of it, so you'll have a kind of a picture about where we're going here tonight. So a mission statement is a short statement of why any organization exists, what its overall goal is, identifying the goal of its operations, what kind of product or service it provides, its primary customers or market, and its geographical region of operation. It may include a short statement of such matters as the organization's values or philosophies or a desired future state. So that's a mission statement. And that's a public thing that's out, and it's sent to customers and vendors and everybody. And a vision statement is more aspirational. It is a description of what an organization would like to achieve or accomplish in the midterm or long-term future. It is intended to serve as a clear guide for choosing current and future courses of action. And then the value statement, a declaration that informs the customer and staff of a business about the company or organization's top priorities and what its core beliefs are. Companies, organizations often have a value statement to help them identify with and connect to targeted customers, as well as to remind employees about its priorities and goals. So what we're going to start with is a mission statement, and you have a copy, here again, the packet, of what the current mission statement says. So what we would like to do now is to open up to the public, and I'm going to ask, Danette, will you come and maybe do some recording for me? Okay. I would ask you to, this is your opportunity to come forward. If you have, I was going to say vision, but we're doing mission. That was a joke. What do you see as the mission for NID? Now, this group of bodies here are going to actually create the mission statement for NID. That's the job they got elected to do and to be the spearheads of. But they also would like input from you as to what's important to you. And then in the final analysis, we will be fine-tuning that this evening and hopefully going away with a document. So, I don't know what your ground rules are as far as speaking 2-3 minutes. Does that work, Rem, for people just to come to the microphone? So if you'd come forward to the microphone, if you have something you'd like to add to what's already on here, then please come forward. That microphone is live, and we'll get this rolling. All right? Oh, sure. The district will provide a dependable, quality water supply, continue to be good stewards of the watersheds, while conserving the able resources in our care. The available resources in our care. All right.
I have the vision first because it was bigger than the mission, but I'll just read the mission if that's what you want.
Okay.
Oh, Diana Suarez Colfax. Mission of the Irrigation District. As conveyors of water, the district respects the larger hydrologic system and understands that the human need for water is in relationship to the overall health of watersheds and living ecosystems. The district will prioritize natural landscape features, streams, and rivers to accomplish storing and moving water for human consumption, paying particular attention to sustaining groundwater systems. Hydroelectric and recreational facilities will be managed with best practices and least impact to watersheds. The price of conveyance will be independent of water markets and based instead on the proximity to source and best public service. The district does not sell water or participate in a water market.
Okay. Do you have a copy of that we can share? You have a copy of it? Okay, great, thanks. It's a little hard to gather up here on a piece of paper. All right, anybody else? Yeah.
Yes, John Norton, Lake Wildwood. Not being very creative, I went ahead and looked online at the Water District's mission statements, and I found a couple that I like particularly. The first one is Soquel Creek County Water District. We are a public agency dedicated to providing a safe, high-quality, reliable, and sustainable water supply to meet our community's present and future needs in an environmentally sensitive and economically responsible manner. The second one I like was Santa Clara Valley Water Districts. The mission of the district is a healthy, safe, and enhanced quality of living in Santa Clara County through watershed stewardship and comprehensive management of water resources in a practical, cost-effective, and environmentally sensitive manner. Thank you.
All right. And do you have a copy that? I do. Thank you very much, John. Anyone else want to come forward and? There we go. Come on down.
Hello, Mike Pasner, Indian Springs Organic Farm. Farming with NID water for 33 years. Keep our water local. Don't be selling water down the valley. Don't price the middle-income people out. Keep it open and transparent in all of your dealings. Protect our environment and our wildlife and the people who live in your water district. Thank you.
Okay, good. Thank you.
I apologize, this is a little off the cuff. The current mission statement, and I'd strike conserving and insert maintaining wise use. Brad Fowler, I'm sorry. Thank
Okay,
you.
Brad, would you do that one more time?
I said I would strike conserving and insert maintaining wise use.
Okay, good. Thank you.
So Brad, so that would read while maintaining the available resources in our care?
Well, excuse me, you're correct. That's what that would have
Yeah. Wait, Brad, will you go back to the mic so we can catch you on TV?
While maintaining wise use of the available resources in our care.
Okay. So what's he adding there?
So he's basically addressing the word conserving and,
Okay.
and inserting the idea of maintaining.
Or wisely using.
Okay, maintaining or wisely.
Maintaining and wisely, you could actually have both.
Good. And then the rest of the stuff stays the same. Okay. Anyone else want to throw your 2 cents of wisdom in, or 5 cents, or 10 cents? Okay, let's allow everyone else who wants to speak first, okay? Thank
Kurt
you.
Lorenz. I haven't attempted to write a statement, but it strikes me that a mission statement for a water district with the challenges that water districts have in California should state clearly that they understand that there are limits to what's available, and to make the best use of the water that is available, subject to rational limits.
Okay, good. Anyone else? Here we come.
I think it would be good to add something about resilience in the future and having plans that are flexible related to what might change in an uncertain future.
Okay.
Sorry, my name's Louise Jackson from Nevada City.
Debbie Porter from Grass Valley. I like your mission statement as it is. Actually, I think it covers everything everybody's talked about. I think it's important to always remember that our community is growing, and so it is important to realize that we'll have to constantly have good water available, which may or may not mean adding to the storage.
Okay. Thanks, Dan. Anyone else? Going once? Going twice? All right. So, I'm sorry. Did you? I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry.
Well, and also, Carol, when did the board weigh in at this point, or when do they weigh in?
You gotta wait for Diane.
Be patient.
No, I will, I just want to
Okay.
make.
No. Oh yeah. No. You're
I didn't know what your
crafting
process
this.
was.
Yeah, you're going to be crafting
This is a proxy statement. In recognition that collaboration at all levels is essential to meet our many challenges now and in the future, the Nevada Irrigation District, with a primary directive of serving the people as a water purveyor, develops guiding strategic doctrine through a collaborative community planning process. Chief among the various integrated water resources planning and management plans is the adoption of an overarching district strategic plan. This guiding plan contains a background including past, present, and plausible future circumstances and legal mandates to aid the formation, adoption, and use of the district's missions, visions, core values, goals, with associated general objectives and actions.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right. So now the board is going to go to work. So there's a blank sheet, or the rest of the sheet is blank. So what I'd like you to do as individual board members, with the mission statement you have in front of you and the input you heard and your own personal thoughts about how you'd like to fine-tune it, I would like each of you to take a few minutes, as many minutes as you need, 10 minutes maybe, and think about, what do you want it to say? What do you want this mission statement to say? We'll report them back out, and then we'll go into some fine-tuning. Just from experience of doing this a very lot for lots of companies and organizations and governmental agencies, short is better than long. Mm-hmm. You know, you want to be as succinct as possible because we want people to remember it. We want people who represent the district out in the community, even employees at some point. Some of the companies I work with take the mission statement and they put it on the back of business cards. So it is always like that visual of what is it that we've committed to do? What is our mission? Where are we going? So long sounds wonderful, but to put that somewhere, and I too, like John, went to many websites in preparation. My experiences, a lot of water districts don't even have a mission statement on their websites. And what they have is long paragraphs, much like, but I wouldn't call that a mission statement. That's why we're here, but it doesn't fit into that window called a mission statement. Okay? So, Chris.
So, Carol, isn't it true that all of these details fall into the vision and value statement? I formerly did this. It was goals. We had goals and something else rather than a value statement. Okay, but keeping the vision statement short, are we going to, the mission statement, right?
Right.
Are we going to work on the vision statement under that?
That will be a decision you as a board will make once we get
Because
through this part.
I think a lot of things I heard that I agree with fall further down into those areas, and so
Yeah.
we'll keep it simple on the mission statement.
Okay? All right.
I have a question.
Yes.
In the mission statement of the district, what if they make a statement that's not necessarily, may not be true, or they may need to prove that that's true, or there's controversy around whether that's really true or not?
So would you?
Well, but continue to be the stewards of the watershed is controversial from where I live.
Oh, okay. All right.
So, the impacts on our particular watershed are severe.
Okay. All right. Let's let our board come up with. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll pick up trash while I'm waiting. I can get there. Okay. So, is there a way that maybe we could capture each of them on a slide? Yes. Right now? Once they hand them in. I think that's probably the easiest way to do it. You can do it? Because once they, at least, we can maybe see them all. I mean, we can print them. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's do that. Okay? All right, perfect. Yeah, that'd be fine. Yeah. Okay. So Scott, when you guys are ready, we're going to gather them. We're going to take a 10-minute break, and we're going to enter them so that it comes up as a PowerPoint so everybody can see them. Okay? Rather than people trying to remember what you said.
That's much better.
Okay, thank you.
So, there's so many words. Here's the third. Here.
But I'm going to.
You want the whole thing written out, though?
I want you to write out what you think the mission statement should be. Okay? And then, and if it's just changing words or something, that's fine too. But if it's, if it's different, then that way. Okay?
Right. Mine is the little short piece of paper.
Okay. All right.
Mine's just an insertion.
Okay. And then, and basically it'll be your decision what it is. I mean, I'm not opening it up to the
I understand, you're facilitating.
Yeah,
Okay.
Mine's an insertion to make the mission statement consistent with the California Constitution.
Okay. All right.
And make
Well,
it more
you know what? When yours come up, I'll let you speak to them. How's that? So you can then,
That's a good idea.
have ownership to it. Okay? Are you all right with that? All right?
So
Okay.
what,
So when we get them up on the slideshow,
do you want it?
I do want it. Are you done?
Can you read it?
Well, I don't have to.
Ask them if she
I'll
can.
tell them to come get you.
Okay.
So when yours comes up, we'll let you read to it and why you
Okay,
chose
and,
your words.
and, yeah, and it was very quick.
Yeah,
But-
and see what it looks like. I mean, we might
Yeah.
fine tune another round or whatever. It's going to take a little while. Okay, all right. I just want to make it as visible for everybody in the room as
That's a good
possible.
idea.
Yeah. And we have techie people who can do that. See, I'd be up there
Yay.
writing it.
Okay, well, is she
Do
gonna
you
start,
want-
is she gonna
No,
start
no, I'm still
typing
waiting.
some of them? Or maybe she could start typing some of them and.
Oh,
I'll
yeah,
repeat
we're going
mine
to take a
again.
break too, to
Oh, we
give her
are?
permission
Okay.
to do it. I mean, give her time.
I kinda did. but-
Oh, well, here, you can have it back. I didn't mean to take it, you handed it. Yeah, we're moving, really giving it to me, or are you gonna take it back? Are you really giving it to me, or are you gonna take it back?
I don't
All
know if
right.
that, I don't know if that captures it all, but
Okay.
it's a start.
Well, it's a starting place.
Yeah,
Okay.
basis, yeah.
All right, so everybody's is in? All right, so with the permission of the chair, I'm gonna call a 10-minute break. And just so we can get this in, we're gonna put it, we're gonna put it in the computer as a PowerPoint, and then you'll all be able to see it. It's the easiest way for everybody to take a look at it and go from there. get a packet, they came later, we didn't have one. So I have some for you.
Good, thank you.
All right?
Is your file or my file?
Two over there. Two questions?
Oh,
Just two, three.
Kurt, did you get yours? Thank you. Good.
All right, hey, Beth? Oh, you're welcome. Okay, so what I'm gonna ask the board to do, because I don't know which one of these belong to them. So when it comes up on the screen, I'm gonna ask them to own it and just speak to it and why the words they chose. Does that make sense? Okay?
Carol, I'm gonna print out written copies of these slides, so you guys have something to work with.
Oh, okay, shall we wait for that?
No, you guys can go for it.
Okay, all right, okay. I don't know who that is.
That was mine.
Oh, it's yours, good. I was gonna say, nobody's talking, great.
You used two of my words, I thought it was mine. Go ahead.
Okay, the district will provide a dependable, cost-effective, high-quality water supply through environmentally sensitive watershed stewardship and innovatively and sustainably managing our resources in a collaborative and transparent manner.
Okay,
Are you
All right.
owning that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
all
I mean,
right,
it was quickly written, but, you know, I
Okay.
think there's time to live with it and
okay, good. No, I'm good, thank you. All right, so we're not gonna do any editorial comment, we're just gonna listen to them all and then go from there, okay?
Never mind.
Okay,
This is mine? Oh, yes, this is mine.
okay.
So, I realized that our mission statement, as it had been, I will, but I want to give an explanation first, if that's okay. That we actually have three main things that we do here at the district, and that we needed to name those in our mission. So that is the source of what this is. Nevada Irrigation District is dedicated to providing a high-quality, reliable, and sustainable water supply to our customers within the district, while protecting our watershed in our care. Continue to operate and expand our hydroelectric facilities and services for the benefit of our local customers, and support recreational activities on our district properties. So I wanted to hit all three lines: water, hydro, and recreation. That was the genesis of that.
Okay,
And wordsmithing is welcome.
okay, good.
I'll own this one.
Okay, oh, good.
I find the existing mission statement,
You wanna turn your mic on and speak into it next, thanks.
I will turn my mic on.
There you go.
I basically don't have a problem with the existing mission statement. What I added is to, while conserving and putting to full beneficial use the available resources in our care. And so the important change there is the addition of the idea of putting to full beneficial use. And by putting those words in there, what I am doing is making our mission statement consistent with the cardinal principle of water law in California and the California Constitution. Article 10, Section 2 of the California Constitution embodies that idea, that it is the overarching principle in California to put water to full beneficial use while avoiding waste. And look it up, Article 10, Section 2 of the California Constitution. I believe our mission statement should be consistent with the overriding principle of water law.
The district will provide a dependable and quality water supply, will continue to be good stewards of the watershed, and work to make, well, no, there's no word sustainability in there. Never mind. That's not mine. I put sustainable.
Maybe it got typoed out.
I put sustainable in mine too.
I put sustainable in mine.
I was trying to, don't worry about it, I appreciate people try to do things in a hurry here, but basically it was just keeping the old one and adding in, I like Brad's word with sustainability.
Okay, good.
Okay, this is mine. The district will provide a dependable quality water supply, continue to be good stewards of the watershed while maintaining and wisely using the available resources in a sustainable manner. And while I agree with Nick and will lean towards wordsmithing that to put in what he said about the
Beneficial use.
beneficial use. Yeah, there we go. And right now I draw a blank on how to do that.
Okay.
I really feel compelled to use sustainable and the word stewards. I think those are important words to have in there.
Okay, so I'm looking for the board for direction on how we want to go moving forward in coming up with a definitive item at the end of this process, or is it something you want to sit with and rethink? I mean, you've heard from the public and their own thoughts about that. I hear some of that within the mission statements. It is a very long process to take 5 much alike but unique statements and create a statement that everybody can work with in the course of an hour and 10 minutes. It just isn't happening. It is a separate stand-alone event that I think would serve us all better to be able to do that at another time, but I will, if you want to move forward on that, that's what we can do. Or we can take these 5 statements and set a time where we'll come together and you have an opportunity to think about it. And actually, because like you said, it was pretty quick. You had it right real fast, and I'm tearing away your paper before you're ready to give it to me anyway. So it would give everybody maybe some more food for thought to move down the line, but this is your evening. I'm just here to facilitate it in a way that works for all of you. So I'll look for the board for some direction.
I have a question.
Questions are good?
Okay, question to our general manager. So
they're even better when they're to your general manager.
Okay. Well, in the
down.
definition that Carol first gave us about mission statements, it talks about, why this organization exists, what its goal is, and what kind of product or service it provides, and it goes on. And so the mission statement that I kind of worked on crafting had the 3 business lines in it.
Correct.
And my question, I guess, to you, is that an important component to have in our mission statement, that we provide these things? This is the product that we are providing the public, our customers, and so on. Or is it not important?
Or potentially, alternatively, is it something that needs to be pulled into the vision statement, one level down?
Well, yeah, I don't know. So I'm asking.
Well, so when we thought about this the first time, we focused around that issue, in 15, and we thought that is probably, given that the governing document or the 2500 of the water code, we are a water district, an irrigation district. That's our primary function. That's why we're put here. So that's why it says to dependable water quality water supply, because that is really our core function. And recreation and hydroelectric power really they revolve around that singular function, right? So that's why that was created. But it isn't wrong to say that we have 3 business lines. They are very important, each one unto themselves. So we can shape the mission statement to speak to that at a very high level.
Well, I guess that was, just for the board's sake, that was what I was trying to do, because I know that we use our hydro to help support our water activities. And it would be hard to uncouple them. So, yes?
Scott?
Or use the vision statement to address that, since it talks about actual intended to serve clear guide. I kind of like Nick's.
So is there one that you guys prefer, and then we can have...
I kind of like Nick's with the beneficial use clause.
We can have Danette get up and start crafting on it.
Well, I like putting the beneficial use with what Chris had, but I don't know that they're all that materially different.
Right.
Okay, well then let's take one of them and have Danette start working on it live in front of you here. And we'll put the words in it.
See if we can come up with something.
All right,
so we
that
can
works
move
for
on down
me.
the line.
All right.
Yeah.
Come up with something here.
Okay. Do you need to be here, Danette? Then I'll... Okay, great.
So the elements of Chris's that you liked were there specific words?
I'd have to see it
We
again,
can-
I'm in a little lost,
Okay.
I don't have it.
Can we
Do you
get
guys
the
have,
papers
is
that
there
they
a
have?
printed copy of those?
Can we get printed, here we come.
Here we
All right,
Yeah, I knew Rem printed them out, oh.
there we go.
Brad
Here.
can come back.
They don't all have them, and, okay, and would you give that young man over there called Greg one? He is such a generous man, we should give him a round of applause. He keeps giving away his goodies.
Oh, no, he's charging $1 each time.
Oh, he is? Oh, he's
He a
making
business
money?
man.
He's making money.
He a businessman.
All right, so, and I don't think they need to have anybody's names on them because it isn't about who did the best statement. What we want is the one that best speaks to all of you, okay?
If you did,
Um,
if you did that and
So,
then added.
Is that, Chris, is that one yours?
Wisely using the available
Yes.
resources
Okay.
in a sustainable manner
We're not doing open comment right now.
for beneficial use.
The board is at work. Okay,
So-
it's their workshop, so we gotta give them the time to get it together. Okay.
If I may, I would like to start with, in Nick's, it took out, okay, I disagreed with the word conserve, but he had in there, and I put in maintaining, okay.
Can you hear? Danette? Okay. Chris,
so
can
there's-
you put your mic a little closer? Danette is gonna be trying to capture what you're saying,
All right.
so if we can be a little louder, that would help her. Okay.
So the word, I substituted the word maintaining and wisely using in place of conserving, okay? Feeling that, that philosophically that's one direction, but Nick had a different point on that, and, which isn't wrong either.
Yeah, I was just trying to be consistent with Article 10, Section 2. And basically maintaining is an appropriate word there. Article 10, Section 2 says not only is it the goal to put water to full beneficial use, but to avoid waste. And that's the idea. And maintaining and conserving embody that idea to some extent.
And what if
So
we
you
have
had
surplus?
So conserving is the non-wasteful part, is what you're saying.
Yeah, you
Right.
had conserving and putting full beneficial use the available resources in our care.
Right. So we have a duty to avoid waste,
Correct.
a constitutional duty.
So conserving is a proper word, you're saying.
It could be said
Why
other,
he
wa-
used-
it could be said
Well,
other,
no, I know.
it could be,
No, he's
it could be said other
Yeah.
ways. I think that
It does
the concept is an important concept.
I agree.
And that concept, ideally should be carried into our mission statement, because we do not want to engage in waste. But we do want to put water to full beneficial use.
Okay.
Which
So do you
means-
want that added to Chris's?
My take on that would be to remove wisely using and replace it with conserving, is that correct?
Try that and see how it reads.
Okay, good. Yes, we need to remember Danette is not writing it, she's just recording what you give her, so we want to make sure we give her what you
And she's
would like to
fast.
see. And she's fast, yes. I'd
And
still
if
be
you
looking
would
for the
say
keys.
Sustainable manner, comma,
Sustainable manner, comma.
I don't know if that's the correct punctuation, but then adding in the idea of beneficial use that Nick is speaking to.
Oh, right.
District will provide a dependable water quality supply.
Yeah, it's,
Continue to be good stewards of the watershed while maintaining and conserving.
For the beneficial use of.
You start with Nick and
you could put a
also-
period at the end of watershed, and you say,
Okay, let her catch up with you, Nick.
okay.
And then you're using conserving twice.
I am. What I'm
Yeah,
gonna do, I'm gonna
that's just
put
not
Chris's
good
on here,
writing.
and that way you can cut out what you
Oh,
don't like.
there's good.
Oh, there you go. All right, we have wisdom in the room at the keyboard.
And putting the water in our care to full beneficial use.
Okay.
Well, available resources is
Yeah,
a
something
bit more
like that.
generic. Paint yourself in a hole.
All right, so this is a combination of
Actually, that's
Nick
Continue to be good
and
stewards of
Chris.
the watershed, period. Why don't you just put a period after watershed?
Mhm.
You got a big old run-on, there's no reason it has to be one big run-on.
You're right.
And that's a period, and then instead of saying, strive to maintain, maintain and conserve available resources.
There you go.
Sustainable becomes a little redundant in there too at this point. Strive to maintain and conserve.
Are really striving?
Maintain.
And conserve.
Strive means you don't have to.
Instead of conserving, go to conserve. Strive to maintain and conserve.
There you go.
That is better.
I called him. He was close to being right.
And you gotta take out the while conserving again.
Yeah, we're kind of trying to make it one.
And
Almost the same period again.
yes.
So then period after manner.
Period after manner.
Smaller sentence.
And then
take out
while conserving needs to come out.
It shouldn't be more than 3 sentences.
So we took out strive.
Not have to.
Now, here's a good place for the strive.
Conserving.
Strive.
To conserve.
Strive to conserve and put
We already said conserve.
our resources to full beneficial use.
Okay. Strive and conserve.
No, take out the conserve.
Take out the conserve. Okay, strive to.
Strive to put
To
our
put.
resources.
The available water resources to full beneficial.
Okay, wait. To put.
The available
To
water
achieve.
resources to full beneficial.
Okay, full.
Strive to achieve full beneficial use of our available resources? Something like
Put
that.
the available resources to full.
Beneficial use, period.
Yes. All right.
Period after benefit, yeah.
All right. So now,
Strive to put
Ricky, do we want to put in
to full beneficial
your line of what those three?
Three lines of business, that's up to the full board.
Okay.
I think it needs,
I'm hearing they think it's more of a vision thing, and which is, I don't have an attachment to it one way or the other.
you know,
Okay.
or it's within the.
It just seems like it should be
Or
in
it's
somewhere.
within the action items.
Maintaining and
This
conserving
is
available.
concise and.
I'm moving around so I can come and talk to
Strive to put the
you.
available resources to full beneficial use.
I like this one.
That's a good point.
Strive
That's
to
a
Mhm.
put the available,
So-
to use available resources
There's
twice.
nothing in here about, being collaborative and transparent with our local and regional partners, the public that we serve.
And conserve the available resources.
Because then you have to start defining who that is and what that is. Gets
Instead of
encumbered.
strive, can't we just say, put our resources to full beneficial use?
Yeah, you could say.
Shorten it.
Yeah, no, I would just leave it as
Maintain and conserve our water resources.
Yeah.
People are resources are more than water.
Right.
So
But,
that's,
That's where I'm at.
yeah, you know,
We have
land.
people. we
That's
have-
our fundamental mission.
Strive to put available
Yeah,
resources.
but it's nice to.
I can't hear you.
mission's not-
I can't hear the conversation.
Our mission is.
Nick.
I can't hear the conversation at the other end of the
In the
table.
conversation. You're bored. You're bored.
Fair enough.
Mostly.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So are we close?
Yes.
Are we close enough to say, we're gonna take this product, set it aside and spend some time wordsmithing it and getting it, but do you have the language in there? I mean, do you have the
The
items
essence?
that, yeah, the
No.
essence that you want?
I don't know, and what I was, strive to means that we'd be happy with not achieving. It's just putting the available resources or putting the water resources to full beneficial use. It's like,
Okay.
why not just say it instead of striving to say
Okay,
it?
so we're taking out
Because that's
strive.
our constitutional duty.
To strive?
And what if we
And I'm
don't?
saying, take the word strive out.
I agree with that.
And what if we
Oh,
don't?
Okay.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. It's too wishy-washy.
It's too wishy-washy. Oh, we'll try.
No.
That's how it sounds to me.
No,
Okay, no,
Jump
it's
into
the
beneficial
constitutional.
use.
Laura would like to say something over here.
Oh, Laura wants to say that.
What if we don't, what if we have more water than we have actual beneficial use to put it to in any given year? What happens then? Do we lose it?
Well, it's a mission.
Basically, it overflows the reservoir and then it goes to the delta.
All right, ladies and gentlemen of the board, what do we think?
So we could put it So we would have a watershed plan to be able to spread the water among our district lands.
Yeah, that
And
could
every
be, like
year.
I wrote in my goals is to have a watershed plan.
Yeah.
Right, that's
Environmental,
further down.
environmental management plan.
Right, there are certainly years in which we have excess supply.
Yeah.
There are also many years when we don't.
Right, but if we say, yeah, and, okay, so here's my next, this has never been in the mission statement, but I really think that we should put something in there about, collaboratively working and be, with our regional and local partners, or with our public, and be transparent about it.
That can be further down.
Okay.
I agree with you, Laura, but I think that also could be further down. It's like the watershed plan or a plan, a community relations plan.
It's a goal.
Yeah.
Executional. All right.
Okay? So we're not voting on things tonight because we said we wouldn't be, but we can get consensus.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have consensus from the board that this is a workable tool to get you started?
Yeah.
And we can move on?
Yes.
Everybody okay with that?
Yep.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your good work, and thank you to Danette for pulling that off.
Thank you, Jeanette.
Yes. All right, and someone's going to save that, right?
Oops.
Just asking, just asking. Yes. We're not at public comment yet, Peter. I'm going to have to hold you. All right? Thank you. Because I've already said to someone else, we need to stay on track and get you all out of here at a decent hour. All right. So the next pieces on the agenda are both a vision statement and a value statement. And then I heard actually that there was maybe some interest in not so much the value statement, but
Or the vision and going into the values and, like, our core values.
your core values.
That would maybe inform the vision statement.
Okay.
Is that true?
Or embellish, add to.
Or something.
Okay. So I'm just going to offer some editorial comment from my own looking at what was out there to best support you in the things you do. And I will tell you, other than, I think I went to 10, and I would ask maybe John even though I just said we're not taking public comment. So John, you can't respond, okay, until you get to a microphone. But the reality was that I went looking for vision statements and value statements. And especially the vision statements. There was one district that had one up there. And their vision was to make their county a better place with water. I mean, I'm not making any editorial
county?
I'm not going to tell you.
Well, there's a northern Southern California centricity that's
Oh, no,
important.
I stayed local. I stayed in Northern California. So my thought on that was, why was that? Because if you go to other businesses, they have a mission and a vision statement. But my sense is that maybe, and I don't know this because I don't know that much about it, is that maybe that vision statement doesn't pop up because of the kind of agency you are and all of the rules and regulations and laws that govern you, that vision isn't maybe, somebody bigger than you does your vision for you, whether you want them to or not. And I don't know that means you can't have a vision statement, but I'm just saying that they're not out there a lot. So now we're at that time to decide. I mean, I'm here to support you in anywhere you want to go. I know that some of the public has come tonight prepared to offer a vision statement from their perspective. And so for the good of the board, we can move forward. This agenda is very flexible. It easily can be moved out. And we talked about that this morning, that probably would happen. So we're fine with that. So we're going to finish at 8, but we'll finish with whatever we have at 8. Does that make sense? Okay. So I'm now serving you about where you want to go as a board.
Sounds like people want to do core values.
Okay.
Well,
Are you not
So where do
really anticipating doing that?
It wasn't on my
Okay.
list,
So
but
then
there
let's
isn't a
go
reason
to
for
vision
you.
statement, if that's what you're prepared to do.
Well,
And
no, I'm
that's-
not doing anything, I'm just keeping you all in control. You're doing all the work, so.
Well, what I was gonna say is, since we began this process with hearing from the public about what they thought about the mission statement, maybe we should start there and hear what they have to say about the vision.
And that is our plan, as
That
long
is
as,
our plan,
that is,
okay.
if that's where
Well,
you
then
wanna go.
Maybe we should stick with your process and your plan.
Are you okay with that?
I second that motion.
Okay, oh.
All right, we're not
That's
taking a
not
vote, because we're
not
not
a motion.
voting.
Not a motion.
All right, so, we are now opening it up to the public who came prepared or has a vision for a water district or for NID that you think would really support them moving forward and make it part of their marching orders, so to speak. So, we'll ask you to go to the microphone, please give your name, and be succinct. Thank you.
If you've read it once, don't read it again. Right?
Diana Suarez, Colfax. I'd like to point out that the California Water Plan Update has a vision statement, so you might get some value from it. And then I did write a vision that I would like to share, just to put people's ideas and minds going in a way that might bring something good. Vision for our water future. Water is life. Groundwater and surface water are intrinsically connected and are indeed one water system. Water brings life to the landscape as it flows through, giving life to the ecosystems, the forests, plant communities, wildlife habitat, and human communities. The movement of water for this living environment will be considered holistically, and watersheds are honored as the building blocks of our living world. And I'd like to say a bit about process. You're not allowing any feedback from the public once the board does this.
Well, it's because it's their workshop, and they were the ground rules that we're working with tonight. But thank you, a great input. Anybody else have some input for the vision? Come on down.
Ren Lipowitz, Grass Valley. I don't know if this was suggested by Director Peters as an element of the mission, so I don't know if it's better to put it down in the vision, but I'm just wanting to agree that it should be included. High quality water supply through environmentally sensitive watershed stewardship. Because we can talk all we want about using resources, but if we want to be on the right side of history, we have to use it in an environmentally sensitive way. So,
thank you. Thank you for your input. Anybody else?
Debbie Porter, Grass Valley. A lot of this sounds really good, but words like environmentally sensitive are very open-ended with no actual description of what's meant. So I think it's important to be more clear. I mean, environmentally sensitive sounds good, but what does it really mean? And the fact that I know I'm not agreeing with everybody, but I really want to see storage because I use irrigation water, and I oversee a neighborhood who's very worried about fire. So the more storage we have of water and large bodies where the helicopters can grab water and dump it where it's needed, I think is a way of being environmentally sensitive, because you're going to stop fires before they become out of control. Thank you.
All right. Anybody else?
Kurt Lorenz, Nevada City and...
Kurt, would you pull the mic up a
Nevada
little bit?
City and San Juan Ridge. Any process like this is infected from the beginning with all the problems of language, and there are hidden values in the words that we use, absolutely, no matter who chooses them or what we do. But I just want to point out that the statement of beneficial use that Nick brought up, that's enshrined in the California Constitution, I think it's pretty safe to say that in 1908 or whenever that was, beneficial use meant for
1913.
humans. Excuse me?
1913.
13, thank you. Beneficial use meant fundamentally in everybody's mind only one thing. It's useful for humans. And I think consciousness has changed quite a bit, and we understand that we live in an interconnected world where taking everything for humans ultimately means that humans will catastrophically fail. So all of these words are absolutely loaded, but and I agree with the previous statement about environmentally sensitive. That means one thing to you and something else to somebody else. But boy, if there ever was a loaded word, beneficial is really big time.
Well, so is a statement, a flat-out statement, water is life. What the hell does that mean? As a biologist.
Well, that one's actually pretty simple, I think.
No, it's actually
without
not.
it, we die.
We're all 70% water.
Yeah, fine. But the water is not life.
Yeah, okay.
There is no life.
It certainly supports life.
Okay, so we can have a biological, philosophical conversation.
Yeah,
But
you're absolutely right.
That Ms. Suarez wrote.
It doesn't help this process.
subjective
You
stuff.
said it. It does not help this process to choose words that make it automatically confrontational.
Right.
And sleuthing out how to say things without pushing those buttons is very tricky. And when you said beneficial, my brain just exploded. It's like, oh great, the new oil refinery that's going to be located, down, use a bazillion gallons of water.
I'm going to ask you to stay
is
on
more
topic.
beneficial.
Excuse me, please.
Oil
I'm going to ask you to stay on topic, please, because
Yeah.
we're talking vision now. We put
Okay,
this
well,
one aside
well,
as a work.
Good. My vision is that in this process, we'll be very careful about the words that we use, and it'd be a good idea not to push buttons more than we have to.
Okay. Thank you. All right.
Mike Pasner, Penn Valley. Let's keep it human. NID doesn't own all the water. NID should not be threatening the public with ownership of well water, springs, and the like.
All right. Does anyone else have comment on a vision statement?
John Norton. I kind of think something we could all share here is that we would like to preserve the quality of life we have in the district. That's Nevada County and Placer County. And so that's part of that quality of life we want to maintain, and water is essential to maintaining that, is the environment and the drinking water and the agriculture. This is something we want to sustain. So the vision of 10, 20 years down, we want to use our resources here to sustain this quality of life.
Okay, good.
And we actually have sustainability. Yes, we do.
Brad Fowler, Grass Valley. Just wanted to for a reminder about agriculture, the value of water to agriculture, and just keep that in your heads, not as a background. It's a livelihood for us, and anyways, it adds to our quality of life. Actually, Mr. Norton covered it pretty well. So
Good. Okay. All right. Anyone else want to have some input before we put the board to work? Okay. So I have a new mandate for you, and I have paper, but everything's single-sided, so you can just write on the back. As you write your vision statement, I would like you to envision NID 5 years from now. Let's just go 5 years. So what would your vision be for NID?
It's funny to cap it, because I was just starting thinking, all right, I'm an optimist. It's a generation.
Okay.
pretty quick generation, 5 years, so
Well, vision
I'll
states.
have to reconstruct the
All
whole
right.
vision all of a sudden.
All right, there you go. See, he got ahead of me, and now he has to back up and start over. I love it.
You're literally gonna hold you 5 years.
So just,
That's
you
a
could go
business plan.
10. You want to go 10?
Business plan.
5 to 10 years is a vision plan normally, is
For
to
a
look
business.
at what would you envision this district looking like, doing, being in 5 to 10 years? And it's a writing, it's actually a writing exercise. Yeah.
I find it difficult to think of our strategic vision and our plan, our strategic plan for only 5 years,
Thank you.
when our raw water master plan is 50 years. And so we should have a little broader vision, I would think, of where we want to be.
All right, so you choose the time.
It took me 15 years to get the doggone water lines. Nancy was here earlier. You gotta have your vision for a while.
All right, so give me
5
a
years
year.
it wouldn't happen.
Give me a year. I'm easy. It's your vision. It's not mine.
Can Danette put up what John Norton said?
Yeah, I'd like to see what John Norton
Can,
said, 'cause
can we
that really
craft that
resonated
real quick?
with
That
me.
resonated really well
Oh,
with
it
me.
did?
Yeah.
It did for me too.
Is it,
John, can you help us out?
John, could you, do you have it written down, John? John!
He was addressing sustainability.
We have it recorded too, but let's see if we can.
Sustainable manner.
Oh, wait, Carol?
Yes.
There was some eloquence.
He ended one of the sentences with sustain while sustaining our quality of life. So preserve or sustain our quality of life.
All right, so Danette's looking.
So we'll go back to the,
Okay.
But what I liked about what John said is he mentioned agriculture, he mentioned human, he mentioned the environment, and all three of those are important components to what we do here and how we are going to continue doing it.
But,
If we don't mind, we take a recess, and Diane's offered to go back to,
Oh, that'd be
All right,
That'd be
perfect. All right, like 10 minutes? Does that work for everybody?
Sure.
All right, up and at 'em. The information up here is for the board. This is John's words of wisdom. They've made the overhead. Yay, John.
Wow.
So I'm just going to read a little something to you as you begin your writing, okay?
Well, how about we just vote on this being the vision statement? Well, I mean,
Well,
there's an innate consensus. I got no problem with it.
Agriculture and drinking water. The vision to sustain our quality of life.
For the vision statement?
It's a vision.
The first sentence doesn't work for a vision.
First sentence is irrelevant.
Yeah.
I mean, you could almost go
The
with the
vision
second
is
sentence.
to sustain
Oh, it dropped.
our quality of life.
Vision. Yeah, there needs to be a to after is in the last line.
Last sentence, Danette.
The vision is to.
To sustain
Very good, Mr. French, thank you.
our quality of life.
Or quality of life within the district.
The quality of life that we all share.
Essential to maintain the environment, agriculture.
Okay, this
and
is
drinking.
supposed.
I mean, again,
this-
don't beat the guy up, he was just speaking out loud, and it's a good thought.
Okay, this is a board process here right now, so we want to, because they're the one that's going to have to, wear this and be accountable for
Yeah,
it.
let's just drop that whole first sentence and just say water is essential to maintain the environment, agriculture, and drinking water.
Our vision.
Our vision is
Our
to
vision.
sustain quality of life within the district. Because it is only our district, we don't dictate to the state.
Yeah,
Just drop that whole, it's like a preamble that's
drop
nice.
the whole sentence.
Yeah. Then we don't need the quality of life we have in the district, we're addressing that in our vision.
Says it at the end.
Yeah, there you go. Water is essential to maintain the environment, agriculture. Now, does that point us in a direction here that this says we should point in a direction? It is intended to serve as a clear guide for choosing current and future courses of action.
And I say, no, it doesn't.
It needs a little something to give it a motor.
Okay, so let me share with you some vision statements of people you might know that have nothing to do with water, but just so you know. A computer on every desktop. So who do you think that is?
The devil.
The devil.
That's what happened to our society, whether they got rich off of it or not.
Sounds like Bill Gates.
It's Microsoft.
Microsoft.
All right?
The ultimate evil.
Here's one. A computer in the hands of everyday people.
Apple.
Apple.
Get out of the computer.
All right.
Yeah.
Helping investors help themselves.
Wall Street.
Schwab? Did I hear
That
Schwab?
sounds like Schwab.
Yeah.
They bring the money.
Make people happy.
Disney.
Guys are good. To provide access to the world's information in one click.
IBM. Google.
So, I mean, that is an inspiration statement for those organizations. That is their vision statement. So they don't have to be long in details, but they have to speak to who you are.
Sustain our quality of life. It's just, again, it can be interpreted by anybody to mean anything. But it sounds good.
Stewards of healthy watersheds.
This is just rough, but that we strive to be stewards of healthy watersheds that support our environment, agriculture, and our quality of life.
Okay. So if my mind hasn't left me at 7:30 at night, you actually have not had an opportunity to actually write anything. We went from
We are writing.
you beginning writing. So we're going to do it this way?
Yep.
Works for me?
Yep.
All right.
I'm happy with it.
That support,
Say that again, Lauren?
that support our environment, agriculture, and quality of life. Agriculture, and quality of life.
Is it sheds or shed?
Well, that's what, I don't know. Do we have three? We have
Little bit
Yuba and
overstating
It could be a
ourselves.
watershed, could be single.
Are
I
you,
mean, the
are you
concept
adding
is
this in lieu of?
we have our
Up there already.
watershed.
This is a different one.
Yeah, this is an alternate, this is one I just
Okay.
wrote, yeah.
can be, I mean, it's just, yeah, you're overstating yourself a little bit when
So I
you
like-
condemn me, the whole, everybody. Adam?
Yeah.
I like this one.
Healthy water,
Because
this
we
is
all live
fine.
here because we live in a beautiful environment, and if we don't take care of our environment, our lifestyle is compromised.
Okay, get rid of the other one, keep that one.
Don't get
Wait,
rid
don't
of
get
it.
rid of it.
brother, you were there for a
Wait.
minute.
No, don't get rid of it yet. I just don't.
Just keep going.
Oh, goodness. Now we're gonna try and crunch them together and neither one will sound right.
Scott, this is a democracy. We're gonna
Oh,
all
I'm
get our
sorry, I thought I
input.
was chairing this meeting. My bad.
Wow,
No,
you're
sure.
sitting in the middle. I'm chairing tonight.
I
How's
tried
that?
to say that at the beginning and I was told I had to open the meeting. So,
All right.
my bad.
What else do you want to throw up here? What, Ricky, did you came with some thoughts?
No, actually, I didn't on this
Oh,
vision. This was
okay.
a tough one for me.
Oh, okay,
I guess I kept writing long paragraphs and I just threw it all away.
okay.
To me, and to me, vision is talking about, the future, if we have a drought, should we be building more storage, that kind of stuff. That's where I'm thinking vision goes, not this. This is value stuff. To me.
It's what we want to see in the future, what we want to reflect on and see. So you could
Well,
even
we
just
don't- quality
delete
of
stewards
life
of and just say
in-
healthy watersheds that support our environment. We want to see a healthy
Agriculture.
watershed that supports our environment, agriculture, and quality of life,
Now and in the future.
now and in the future.
There you go. That's good, Scott. Now and in the future.
And you could drop even stewards, I would just say, our vision is healthy watersheds that support our,
Yeah.
our vision is healthy watersheds.
We like.
That is the steward. that
Yeah,
is-
I think it should
that
be
is
more
the
than
steward.
one.
Right.
So just start with healthy watersheds.
So take out stewards off, and then put healthy at the beginning of the sentence. Yeah.
And watersheds. We've got the Yuba and the Bear. We have to protect our upper watershed just like our lower watershed.
So plural watershed.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you're qualifying by saying support our environment, so that keeps it back to
Right.
not the Columbus or other rivers.
Agriculture
Yeah.
and quality of life now
Now
and
and
in
the
the
future.
future. It's a pretty good vision
Nothing
statement.
wrong with that.
Good vision statement.
Because from that, if we have a healthy watershed, we have a water supply, we have fire suppression, we have, everything stems from having a healthy watershed, in
So
my opinion.
are you doing that, both of those as the same, or they're two
No,
different
just
ones?
Well, I'm saying just the
Well,
second one.
I'm liking the second one.
We're
better.
liking
Okay,
this- we're
all
liking
right.
the second
But
one.
we're really pleased for the
But-
first one.
I know, the
we
first
got
one
to
spurred
build
the,
off
It's a
of.
the first one
democracy,
spurred
Carol.
the thought.
I know. Am I getting fed back my own line?
Yes, you are, ma'am.
Oh.
Yes, ma'am.
Trouble for you, young man.
No, ma'am. Yes,
Yes?
ma'am.
We're deleting that, is that correct?
Yes.
All right.
All right.
There we go. Well,
Okay.
we're efficient.
We're living with that?
Mhm. I am.
Consensus?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Laura, did you have some
Okay.
input?
No, does anyone get
You
to
created it.
comment on it?
No, just
No.
you
Just
guys.
the vote.
This
We-
is your
we
vision
support.
statement,
It's our vision.
okay? All right. Okay.
It's fine. We started with one.
To start.
Yeah. And we don't have one, so it's.
And I lost my place where we are. Okay.
Vision statement, vision statement, value statement.
All right, value
Perhaps.
statement.
Put it your-
So read your definition of value statement again, if you would. And does everyone now have a packet? So you all,
Well, there's the word core, Ricky, right in there.
Yeah, core values.
Core
But see,
beliefs.
I did core values, but I did a list of core values, not just a core value.
Well, okay, we can have all the.
Because
Values-
it says
oh, go
top
ahead.
priorities and what our core beliefs are.
Right.
So that's more than one,
right.
right?
Well, we can have more than one.
Oh, yeah.
It's ours.
We have a list,
I have a list too, so.
yeah.
Okay. So are we gonna move forward on this? We'll do some public comment and then see how far we get. Does that work for everybody?
Sure.
Okay.
Maybe that can
Because
just-
we want to honor people's time,
Yeah.
yours,
Yeah.
and
And
be
theirs
done at
for
8.
coming.
Yes.
Yeah.
And be done.
Okay. All right. So we're now looking for input from the public on value statements. So as a definition, I'll read it so that everyone kind of hears the same thing. A declaration that informs the customers and staff of a business about the company, organization's top priorities and what its core beliefs are. Companies, organizations often use a value statement to help them identify with and connect to targeted consumers, as well as to remind employees about its priorities and goals. Okay? They kind of got that in their head. All right, so I'll open for public comment, and I would ask you to go to the microphone and state your name.
Nathan's 2 for 2, right?
Good job, John.
I'm going to try this one maybe to stick around. John Norton. I had one, I mean, you need multiple values, but I had one that stuck in my mind that I wanted to talk about. Accountability. We will work transparently in full view of our customers and take responsibility for our work. And it's scribbled down in my own hand here.
Okay.
Nice.
So, John, could you maybe pass that on?
To Danette. To Danette.
Danette, we'll collect them back here and then the bottom one. Okay, thank you.
I had a list of values, but I think that one is probably it. And my first one was honesty. And it goes back to your mission statement. They're not complete sentences, and I think you need to look at NID being a good steward of Bear River watershed, because there's a history there and there's a reality there, and in honesty that watershed has been neglected and treated very badly. And so your mission statement doesn't have honesty. Thank you.
I'm going to invite, yes, I do that, I have to do that.
I'm Barbara Belt from Colfax, and I'm Barbara Belt from Colfax, and all I wanted to say is that I think one of the values any public company should have is to be a good neighbor. Just like cities and counties and states even have mutual aid for fire departments and police departments, and California Highway Patrol also enforces the roads regardless of what county they're in, what city they go through, if it's in their jurisdiction. And I think that the NID needs to look at being a good neighbor with Placer County Water Agency, and the surrounding area, because you may be in a position to make decisions that may be unfavorable or unacceptable by your neighbors. And it's one thing to do it now, and it's another thing to have it done to you later. So I think it should be an agreement that should be set up in your value statement, is the fact that you do not stand alone in this state or in some of the projects that you have planned for the future. And that's all I wanted to say.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else going to the microphone?
Peter Van Zandt, Nevada City. Value statements. I like the good neighbor one, by the way. I think also we need to somehow address the unknown or maybe future needs of our current underserved. Now, somebody had mentioned, Nancy, earlier, getting water to our neighborhoods that were underserved. So one of our values is people we haven't served yet, or you haven't served yet. So somehow or another, I think that little element should be in the value statement, or part of it.
Thank you, Peter. Yeah, I have one of mine, is to continue to expand treated water lines to our unserved areas for water as well as fire protection.
All right. Any other public statements before we put the board to work here? Ah, Deb.
Okay. Debbie Porter, Grass Valley. This just goes to the value of your employees. While I'm sitting here, I get a message from my husband that our canal went dry, which is where we get our irrigation water. And so I called when I was out there, and I got the answering service, and then I got the person who's in charge tonight, and they were wonderful. You're doing a good job with the employees, and he was very descriptive of what had happened. PG&E had to block a pipe So all the water for my part of the county for irrigation water stopped for 2 to 3 hours, and that's why we went dry, and it'll be back. So I've noticed in the 22 years I've lived here and had irrigation water, I've seen improvement in NID's response to customers and attempt to help customers get their hands on treated water, because of course it's never free. A lot of people think it should be, and wouldn't that be lovely, but it's not. NID provides the water, they don't put the pipes in. So I just, you know, I'm appreciative. I've seen a lot of improvement in 22 years, and I do know that, speaking about being a good neighbor, good neighbors have to be good to us too, because we want our water to stay here. And that was actually something that Scott felt very strongly about when he was running, because you don't want this water to just disappear out of our county and have other parts of our state take it. So I think it is important in all the statements that the water, we work to keep our watershed's water local as best we can, just because it helps this community grow and stay healthy, all the things we talk about. Thank you.
Great, thank you. We have another.
Hello, Steve French, Auburn. Yeah, I just want to kind of follow up on what Peter said and she said. I think sometimes, especially lately, we get so involved in the dam and all these big, huge pictures that we forget about the individual ratepayers and how important it is to those people that have dry wells, that need the irrigation, to provide the potable and irrigation water to your ratepayers is still, I think, one of your primary goals, and should be, you know, a value that the individual ratepayer is the crux of who's paying everybody's salary here, and I think that needs to be kept in mind.
Thank you. Any other comments? All right, so I'm going to turn to the board and ask how you want to take this one on. So I know, Ricky, you have a list.
Yeah.
And I don't know if anyone else came prepared with a list, or whether you want to just take a couple minutes. Do you want to take like 5 minutes and see what you can add up here, and then we'll at least have captured it if we don't go away with it tonight. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. So everybody on the board.
Everybody on the board,
yeah,
okay?
I think everybody should. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, not just you. So, oh.
She can start.
I mean, I'm just starting here. Well, I did values and then goals, which were sort of, this was my number one. Protect our water rights and watershed at all times while keeping, I'm sorry, yeah. So one of the things I started with was protect our water rights and watershed at all times while keeping NID economically viable. Oh, you can give them to these guys. Yeah, okay.
May I give one to Danette?
Too many ideas there.
Yeah, I know, there's a lot of ideas in here.
Oh, okay.
Give that to Danette and these guys.
Okay.
So I've already done my little piece.
All right.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
Well, we want to protect our water rights.
So that should stand on its own.
Yeah, fine. I was just like, brain dumping. Doing this.
I would expand those words already. I would have that as a separate, maintain the fiscal viability of the district. So
That's fine. However you guys, I mean, I don't care about wordsmithing. I don't have ownership in this in a personal way to any of this. I just began by putting things.
Are you ready for comment?
Okay, this is.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, and some of it is redundant, you guys.
Well, it adds, they're adding to, which is not wrong in this. I think one of the core values that we've talked about.
If I could ask everyone, we've got some feedback you might be interested in hearing.
Right. That one of the core values that we've talked about a lot, but sometimes, well, I won't say we lose it, is that the purpose of the district was for agricultural water.
Right.
And we recognize that. I think that's important to start with that, because 90% of it goes to agriculture. So not dismissing the treated component, but starting.
No, I agree.
As a core value, that is a basic core value we've had for a long time.
Is to continue to provide.
Right.
Agricultural water.
Right.
At a reasonable price. And because one of my other things I put in there was to support agriculture with reasonably priced water, somewhere in there.
And one that I don't see on Ricky's list is safety. We should be committed to
That's in my
protecting the
goals.
public and the safety.
Yeah, I spoke to safety somewhere in probably the second page.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I think
There we go.
that's important. That's a good one.
You're talking about human safety or fire safety or?
Human safety and public, staff and the public.
Yeah.
If you want it to be recorded,
She's got it. She's got it on here.
okay, no, I meant for it to go up here, just speak out which one it is.
Okay.
Because
The
Danette
last
has a
one.
copy, but it'll be easier for her to figure out which one we're talking about.
Yeah, it's the last one on the
Okay.
page, Danette.
The last one on the page is uncompromised dedication to safety or something like that. It's like one of the last ones. There you go. Woo, that's a big one.
That is a big one.
Ricky's collapsed a number of important ideas into the first bullet point. To protect our water rights. I think that's of paramount importance for the district and should stand on its own and not be collapsed into other ideas. Also, in that first bullet point is keeping the district economically viable. And that's one of our prime responsibilities as board members, is to oversee the fiscal aspects of the district. And so that has to be a value. We have to always look at issues through the lens of financial viability.
So is that addressed, did that just move that?
So should we, I think what Nick is saying,
That was
make it a
like the
separate
first
bullet.
one on the.
Oh, there we go.
Make the first bullet 3 bullets.
So the ones that you guys have just talked about are those two right
Those two down there, okay.
Then moving down the list, being good stewards of our resources and the environment.
That's covered.
I think that's covered in the mission statement, and what constitutes being good stewards is sort of like beauty or pornography. It's in the eyes of the beholder.
We got more,
Perfect.
go up here.
Did you put the first one about, about protecting our water rights?
Yep, that one is.
That's there's, protect our water rights, okay, and what Nick was saying was to uncouple the water right from watersheds.
And the economic viability.
And the economic viability, those are
Make
three
that 3.
ideas that I
Right.
just jammed together as I was writing.
They're all important ideas. In fact, so important they need to stand on their own.
Right, I agree. I was just brain dumping.
Right. That's why we're
Protect
doing
our
it.
water rights,
That's why we're doing
Yep.
this collectively.
Okay.
Return.
Protect our
Different
line.
different
New
bullet.
line.
Different line, different bullet, yeah.
Yeah.
Protect, you can just hit return and then protect, yeah. Protect our watershed at all times, period. And then the next thing would be keep NID economically viable.
So it's a keep rather than keep.
May I enter one?
Please do.
Explore opportunities to expand water storage to ensure a dependable water supply in the future despite climate change.
Do that one more time, Scott, please.
Explore opportunities to expand water storage to ensure a dependable water supply in the future despite climate change.
Taking into account climate change. Sure.
Well, see, and then in here, I think I talked about climate
We had to
change.
have them be one of yours? Sorry.
No, I just was like, well, I was thinking those were two
We're
different
not-
ideas, actually, kind of in Nick's.
We're not against it.
You mean that climate change and water storage are two different ideas?
Yeah, integrate, innovate, and adapt to climate change, whatever, you know, whatever that means. Is it storage, is it whatever it means? But storage is a different idea than, I mean, climate change impacts everything that we do, right? Or not?
Water supply, Jeanette.
Yeah, we just wanted the end.
Cheryl wants that.
But that's okay.
Dependable water supply, it's our mission statement. Not water, dependable water store, but water supply.
An idea that, I don't know how this fits, but one of the things we need to do in the future is to institute planning to survive the 5-year drought? Or extended drought periods. I mean, this is really the crux of the issue.
We've been mandated
Yeah,
by the state.
so you
can't
just to
look at
interject
3
really
years,
quickly,
look at 5
Board,
now.
the things that are regulatory requirements, I don't necessarily know that those are things you need to cover as part of your values, right? Those are things that the state's gonna mandate, and we're gonna go through those processes.
That's right.
How about,
Still his value.
Yeah,
Plan to survive
that's
anything
fine.
Plan
drought.
to survive.
how about science-based decisions?
I'll go for that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, it's, just take some of the guesswork out of it and get actual information and data to support decisions that are being made.
Okay. Anything else you want to put up there?
I had something that I said in here about our employees.
Oh, you didn't end up with one?
Well, no, I know I didn't, but I thought, retain and recognize our workforce by valuing each individual's contribution.
I like this one is, the top one of the second page, reflect a consistent dedication to the district's most important resources, our water, our employees, our customers, and the environment.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that was at the top of this page. Did you have that, Danette? Oh. It's the top of the second page.
Yeah.
It starts out, reflect a consistent dedication to the district's most important resources. Kind of, yeah, they are repetitive.
In different ways.
Yeah, in different
Subtly
ways.
different.
But I think by having a big list, then we can, because we're gonna be,
We're out of here.
this isn't done.
6 minutes.
This isn't done.
Well, I
She
think,
says with joy in her voice.
I think it recognizes a basic truth, and that is that our real assets are our water rights and our employees.
That's right. That's right.
And however we get that out there is essential. And our human resources are critical to the success of the district.
Mhm. Did we put the thing about water lines continuing to, or is that's kind of a goal?
That's kind of a goal.
Okay,
It's an action item.
yeah, it's an action item.
And I like this one too, recognize the connection between ground and surface water when enacting policies to protect this connection. That's gonna
Kind
help.
of goes beyond our jurisdiction.
Yeah, I think-
We are
No?
above water. I mean, above
No.
ground.
How many people have
We're
wells?
above ground.
Well,
We don't pump.
I agree, it goes beyond our
We're
mandate.
stored, we're above ground. We're not-
Why are we in the groundwater
The
sustainability
county-
agency?
Huh?
Because we're trying to participate as good neighbors.
Because we have
But
good
the
groundwater
county
storage in
dictates.
Division 4.
We don't have the
We-
jurisdiction over the
We have some groundwater storage in Division 4, it's true. But
And we can inject
have
to
some of the
the
prime-
extent that the bulk of the district is in fractured bedrock, we have no no obligation to recharge that fractured bedrock.
And/or no jurisdiction to control what
We're on the
people
wrong
do.
side of the river.
That's,
Hmm?
well, no, that's the county. The county
We're,
determines
we're
when people
part of the
drill
Groundwater
wells.
Sustainability Agency. We're a player.
Not, but that doesn't apply to this piece of land right here.
Ladies and gentlemen,
And it ties to the district.
we are 4 minutes to our deadline. So I would ask that
This is gonna take some more work.
it's going
Oh,
to
yeah.
take some more
Oh, yeah.
work. So I'm going to say, unless you have something that is really a burning, that you don't want it to go away, but we've got copies of it everywhere. So I think we're good to go on that one. And so, obviously, this will be, the agenda will move over, ladies and gentlemen, and also board. So at the next meeting, which is not next Tuesday, but the following Tuesday, what we will be doing then is that we are going to now look at finishing up on this to at least have something that will be out there. And then we're going to go to the next bulleted item that was going to happen this evening, which was review of previous set goals, achievements, identification of challenges, and completing, not completing the goals. Now, that's a unique bullet because 3 of our board members are brandy new and we're not part of the process of setting those goals. However, they're well educated on what's happening here. So my homework assignment to the board is that you have a list of those. They're in the packet I gave you today with what the goal was and then what the action items were for each of the goals. So what I would ask of you to come prepared, here again, that'll get us through it a little faster, is to go through and actually look at what, here, let me.
What does the page look like?
I think I'm missing.
We're missing.
We're missing.
I'm missing that. I don't have what you're describing.
I don't either.
Me either.
You
Oh,
don't?
good. No.
Didn't we
No.
put that in the packets, the mission, the goals, and then
The existing strategic plan.
The
Yeah.
existing strategic plan.
Oh, the existing strategic
Yeah.
plan.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
you
on the
did not put
website.
them in their packet. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize. We had miscommunication. The audience got them and not you.
Oh,
So,
well, that's good.
we will make sure we'll go print you a set right now and you can walk out the door with
Well,
them.
is it just the NID strategic plan that is in
2016
Right.
place?
Yes.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, we got
so
it.
I have a copy of that.
So you have a copy of that?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I think.
All
I
right,
do
so
too.
your preparation for the next time we come together to honor time is to go through there. I'm sure that a lot of those you'll be able, even though you're new on board, you'll be able to identify that happened, or it's still sitting out there, or it never got any
So
light.
identify, can you say it more succinctly, identify which of the goals were met and which were not?
Or which of the
Correct.
actions?
Or
And
which of
then-
the actions were or were not?
It's the actions, it's the actions,
Yeah, which-
because with each
neither
goal,
does-
there's a list of actions.
Yeah, many of the actions have been acted upon.
Right.
I think that, yeah.
Yeah, so, but it's a starting point, and then the decision, then the
Okay, got it.
decision will be made as, are we gonna carry those on as future goals, or are they okay that nothing happened, okay? Does that make
Got it.
sense?
Yes.
Yes, now I do, now I get
I
it.
think-
That got it?
and
Okay.
Carol,
think of additional
Carol,
goals as
might I
well.
suggest that we, at the very beginning of that, go back and look at the mission statement, just to make sure everybody's okay with it, and then go to our vision statement, make sure that everybody's okay with that, and then roll into the
Review.
values? Yeah.
Yes, okay. All right, so it again will probably be a fairly full meeting, and maybe we'll have to prevail upon you to schedule one more to get us where we ultimately want to go, or a couple more, okay?
Scope creep.
All right, so, Chair Scott, you're in charge. I'm off the
Adjourn.
clock.